Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods continues. The SEC on ESPN. From Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, this is the SEC basketball tournament. It's semifinals Saturday. A lot of blue in here because the #1 team in the country is here. Kentucky and Auburn is our first matchup of the day. The Cats being introduced right now. It is March. Almost time to dance next week, but in tournament time, it's time to expect the unexpected.
Nobody expected us to be here.
And when you have fun and you play the game of basketball, good things happen no matter what.
We're a better team than we were in the season, but we're showing it now.
Auburn has done the unthinkable, maybe the unbelievable.
The way they don't quit and the way they believe in each other, they're making some history.
We stay focused by just pushing each other.
We have fight. We have a will to win.
It's not really hard to stay focused because we have a goal and stay in the moment. Everything that we want to happen is going to happen.
Cauley Stein, one dribble, one lob, one score.
Oh, how big was that shot for the Cats?
Swatted away.
That size, unbelievable. Oh, big blow, I love it.
Harrison all the way, flying through the air. Kentucky history can be made tonight.
All that glitter and all that gold.
And so the brackets are set. Auburn, the 13th seed, had to beat Mississippi State, Texas A&M, and LSU just to get here. Arkansas and Georgia, the 2 and 3 seeds, coming up later on this afternoon. So there's a new Cinderella movie out, and in this case, the Cats are Prince Charming and Auburn Cinderella, I guess. My partner is Dick Vitale. I'm Brad Nessler. All right, we've seen Kentucky a lot this year. We'll probably see them some more, too. But they're still perfect, Richard, 32-0.
They're perfect, and they do it with great defense, as we know. But they're so unselfish. That's what I really remember with this team. The unselfishness. Play limited minutes, but they all play for the name on the front of their jersey. I'll tell you this, Brad. I said it on game day. I said it on SportsCenter. If Auburn were to win this afternoon, it would be the greatest upset that I've witnessed in my 36 years on ESPN.
The 3 games they pulled off just to get here weren't too shabby, as a matter of fact, and they've got a guy that's going to make the all-tournament team if he's not the MVP already.
Well, you know, Harrell can flat out shoot the 3, and they're going to have to rain threes here. He was making those threes yesterday, buddy, and there's the big one to send it to OT, and ultimately they sent the Tigers home, LSU. He can shoot the ball. He's been scoring. He might be the MVP in the tournament.
Tell you what, if the task wasn't monumental enough, as you look at KT Harrell's numbers, including 29 yesterday, it just got harder. About 15 minutes ago, breaking news with more on that third member of our team, Shannon Spain. Shannon?
Well, that's right, Brad. Shortly after the Auburn Tigers arrived here at Bridgestone Arena to take on the #1 team in the country, Bruce Pearl told his team that Simeon Bowers will be suspended for today's game because of potential rules violations following yesterday's win against LSU. Now, this is something that the team recognized internally, and they're not having any further comment as they continue to gather facts. Bowers will be on the bench today. He will not be in his team uniform, and the start will go to Devin Waddell, the walk-on, who will be making his first start against the #1 team in the land.
And they'll be without Jordan Granger as well after throwing a punch yesterday, thrown out of the game, and thus it's Miller, Mason, Harrell, Canada, and Waddell. Basically a 5-guard lineup starting against one of the tallest teams on the planet, and Harrison, Lyles, Towns, and Cauley Stein. And we're underway.
Look at the mismatches size-wise. It's unreal.
And a foul on Lyles to start things off.
Well, they get a little charge on Lyles inside. You know, it started off, as you said so well, Brad, with a difficult time. But when you lose your 2 best rebounders, I mean, Bowers one of the better rebounders in the conference, and then Granger, a defensive player, that just makes that upset. I said the last 36 years, I'll extend it. What about maybe the history of the game?
Now here's Auburn's first trip into the front court.
Bruce told me they're going to control clock. They want to shorten the game, and they got to make threes. They got to rain threes.
Did a good job of that yesterday, a season high tying 11. Here's Canada, who played very well yesterday, and a good start for Malcolm Canada.
I tell you, Canada did a phenomenal job. He was a key in that victory over LSU.
He had 14 points and 5 rebounds last night.
You're in Kentucky right now. You got to watch for a little complacency, but right there, that shuts up any complacency.
Aaron Harrison knocks down the 3.
They are so deep, the Cats. Big Blue Nation has a lot to be proud of. To be undefeated this time of the year, Brad, is special.
Kentucky had really no problem with Florida yesterday in the second half. First half was competitive, 64-49. They won that game, and again they held an opponent under 55 points, which they've done so many times this year, 25 times if you can believe that. 10 on the shot clock.
See how they're taking the clock right down. They're going to try to manage that clock.
Harrell for three, air ball, handled by Karl Anthony Towns underneath.
He was challenged.
Cauley Stein against Canada. That's about a foot difference. And a foul.
He made my All-American team, my All-First team, Willie Cauley Stein. I don't think I've ever picked a kid in my tenure at ESPN to be an All-American who didn't score as many as he did, but he affects the game so much defensively.
Willie, just under 9 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, was Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC. And at the free throw line, he's really improved over a year ago.
I tell you, Brad, stats really go out the window when you look at Kentucky. They're all about one stat, 32 and zip.
And Willie got them both.
Full court pressure. They're going to try to speed up the game a little bit. Kentucky obviously wants to play at a faster pace.
Canada's going straight up with it. So they're going to shoot threes. But here comes Kentucky with the Harrison twins. Now the lob to Cauley Stein. Andrew Harrison got the three.
Great inside-outside action. Ball goes inside, bring it to the perimeter.
So both Harrison twins have hit from outside the arc, and it's an immediate 6-point lead in the opening 2 minutes.
It was interesting. I looked at the minutes played. Tyler Eulis played 32 minutes, as much as anybody for Kentucky yesterday.
Led them in assists yesterday, had 7 points as well. And he is lightning quick, the freshman guard. Now in there right now as Auburn has it knocked out of bounds.
Take a look at a little inside-outside action. Ball goes to the post. They double up on a post. Wide open the perimeter. And he drains it. My guy Brad Nessler can drain that. It's so wide open. Great working with you, buddy.
Harrell will inbound with 10 on the shot clock. They work it around. Mason on the drive, and he's fouled.
Mason, a week ago, put his dad to rest. Anthony, a tremendous player with the Knicks in terms of toughness. Had such a mentality that really played a vital role in the success of Pat Riley's teams. With Patrick Ewing lost his life so young. I believe he was 48 years of age.
And it's worn on Antoine, you can tell, and he has not had the greatest tournament or the greatest shooting round, and they're going to need him today because they need all the firepower they can get from the outside. Averages a little over 14 a game. He had 29 in the regular season game, even though they lost by 35. He was the leading scorer in the game.
And what really was a special moment, his dad in the hospital was able to witness that, his son getting that 29. What is there not to like with this Kentucky team? They got all the components in looking at a basketball team that coaches dream of having. They got it all. They play on the defensive end. They got size. They got athleticism. They got depth. I'm going to give you the rest of the nation. I'm taking Kentucky to win the whole national title.
So this is not going to be the biggest upset you've ever seen today. Foul on Harrell on the jump shot by Andrew Harrison. And KT picks up his first.
This team's certainly special, but I said, and I really believe this, I really think the 2012 team I liked a little bit more because of the presence of Gilchrist and Anthony Davis, who's in another world.
Anthony Davis will be coming in another world at the other league.
I know, John, before the game, why don't we have a nice big benefit during the summer, get these kids, get the NCAA allowed to happen, get these kids to play the 2012 team, and give the money to the V Foundation.
That would be good.
Yeah. You're helping people.
What if Anthony Davis would have stayed in school and throw him in on this team? Then we got a team.
Wow. And we said bring on the Knicks and everybody else.
Ross Miller ran out of real estate on the baseline. Auburn turnover.
See, the one thing you got to do when you're trying to play and execute the kind of game plan Bruce Pearl has, you got to stay within the realm of decent in terms of respect by being on that scoreboard, putting some points on the board. You get too far behind, you got to start speeding up the game, and that all leads to Kentucky's favor.
It's been so fun to watch Auburn's run here. They started spring football practice, and I think a lot of people were thinking, well, that's the only thing we can pay attention to, and this has been a blast the last 3 days watching them hang in there. Let's check in with Shannon.
Well, Brad, something else Bruce Pearl told me today that they have to do in order to manage the fatigue that these guys absolutely have to be feeling after 3 games in 3 days is they have to celebrate small victories, and he has to manage his emotions on the sideline. He can't get his players too emotional. He's got to try to stay as calm as he can.
There's a 3-point play coming up. The potential for one as Ross Miller fouls Lyles.
Great point, Shannon. But right there is that size factor, bringing the ball inside the Lyles. So strong on the interior. He's trying to stop him by grabbing him too late. Gets the conversion, go to the free throw line. You know, Auburn won this tournament 85. Unbelievable with a team with Chuck Person. That was their first 3 SEC tournament games that they won. They won the tournament within 4 games, beating Ole Miss, LSU, Florida, and Alabama.
Chuck on the bench now is one of Bruce Pearl's assistant coaches.
I was teasing him in the locker room before the game, Chuck, and Bruce said, Bruce, why don't you line up? Go get him, call Barkley. And you know what? Even Person and Barkley, I'm not convinced you got a shot.
He was talking about Charles last night. He said 1 game was for the team, 1 was for the Auburn fans. There's Chuck. And last night was for Charles Barkley because he's been on him all season long. Harrell had a great look. Didn't drop the 3.
Had a wide open look. He's so happy that Charles has really come back with the program. He's helping them in many ways.
Lyles pull up. 17-footer goes.
He's special talent as well. Lyles has that ability for the perimeter as well as go to the goal.
Block shot. Carly Stein got in the way, and Anthony Towns came over the top. KT Harrell is asking Mike Nance, where's the foul? And so is Bruce Pearl.
It's the worst nightmare for them the way this game has started. And as you said earlier, don't take anything away from these Auburn kids for what they've done winning 3 games to get here.
Talk about help defense. 1 7-footer in the way, the other 7-footer comes over the top.
That's pretty good. And the Big Blue fans, they really appreciate it. I mean, everywhere you go, it's Big Blue. You walk the Omni. I go to the Grand Ole Opry last night. The place is jammed with Big Blue.
It's supposed to be country music, not the blues. It's the blues in town this week. Long inbounds pass. An 11-point lead. As you hear the chants, they go Big Blue.
Kentucky has not won this tournament the last 3 years. This is the one thing that they have not been able to put on that legend John Calipari the last 3 years.
Had a different champion every year for the last 4. Mason almost had it stripped, and now he knew he had to get it up there in a hurry, and he drew a foul. So he'll get to the free throw line when we come back. But it's all Kentucky so far, an 11-point lead, 4 minutes into the game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Sport begs of you this one simple question: who will you be? And the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event. Now through March 31st. See your Lexus dealer.
Doug Kazarian here with a studio update. Final seconds in the America East. Albany down 2. Peter Hooley off the miss. One of 14 automatic bids handed out today. The crowd storms the court. It was Albany's only made 3 of the game. 0 for 9 before that. Brad and Dick, how about that to start this busy Saturday?
That is nice, Doug. Great scene there. Here it's #1 Kentucky all over the place. The SEC Defensive Player of the Year can play outside, inside, doesn't matter, Dick.
They're doing a great job right here. Defensively, we're playing Harrell. Can you believe that? There he is playing Harrell. Chase the ball over. You got a 7-foot-plus guy guarding the little guard. He said, buddy, give me a break here. How am I going to get his shots off? Yeah. Look at his hand. John Calipari always trying to push the right button. He's got to be National Coach of the Year.
Absolutely.
I mean,
he's SEC Coach of the Year, but he should be National Coach of the Year as well. You know, one thing they're going to do, and it's been obvious already in the first 4 minutes or so, if somebody's going to accidentally upset them, it's not going to be KT Harrell, because they're not going to give him anything.
Right, other people got to step up, make shots.
And including the guy that's at the line. Antoine Mason, 3 for 3 from the stripe so far.
And that was great watching that Albany, Coach Brown and his kids going wild. People, there's a perfect example. Say, oh, these tournaments don't mean nothing. Oh, really? Tell it to the kids at Belmont from Nashville. Tell it to Manhattan. Tell it to Albany. They do mean something to those kids.
Carl Anthony Towns and Lyles, 2 of the freshmen on the floor right now. Harrison twins as well. That's Andrew who missed a three.
That's the first shot they missed.
Good rebound for Mason. And he goes coast to coast. He said he's going to have to step up, and so far he has.
Nice strong drive by Mason. You look at the size, what a differential here. It's unbelievable. But it's not only size, Brad, it's the athleticism, the length.
That one rims out, and Auburn with a rebound. Well, the Portland Trailblazers are the only team in the world bigger than Kentucky is, and they play at the next level.
What an achievement by these kids. Here, trying to shorten the game a little bit. Beat Mississippi State, as you said, and then win over, well, Texas A&M as well, LSU.
Yeah. Mason, a little too strong on the three. Cauley Stein all alone for the rebound.
You're not going to see many second and third opportunities for Auburn, I can tell you that.
Andrew Harrison on the drive around Thompson, drew the foul.
They want him to attack more. John Calipari says his game goes way up, elevates his game when he's an attacker. Big story on John in USA Today. Nicole Harbeck did a great story on him. Look at that size.
That was interesting, wasn't it? About him as a player and
well, it's putting
buying the trailers at college and renting them out just to get some extra green.
He was an entrepreneur as a young guy. Played for a buddy of mine, Joe DiGregorio.
And here comes the next wave of talent. The next set of McDonald's All-Americans, if you will, as Dakari Johnson, Marcus Lee, Devin Booker come in. And Harrison stay out there with Andrew at the free throw line. And he's already got 7 points.
I find that amazing. To me, that's one of his greatest achievements as a coach. Not so much, okay, recruiting the players. Kentucky's going to get great players. But to be able to get them to buy in, to play limited minutes in today's day and age where everybody's about themselves, basically, in terms of everybody wants stats. And to be able to sell that, that's coaching. That's psychology of coaching.
Another of the freshman All-Americans, McDonald's All-Americans in there right now. Tyler Eulis guarding Ross Miller way out and pushing him almost to midcourt with his defense.
He's taking him side to side. Never allow him to go north-south. Make him go east-west.
And stripped. A.T. Harrell with the ball. Turnover Auburn, their second. Deep three for Aaron Harrison. Got it.
Great ball movement. Reverse the ball. Aaron, a shooter. Last year made some big shots in their run to the final game.
They stretched their lead to a dozen here. 13 and a half to go in the first half. Harrell trying to fade away to get a shot off, and he's fouled by Aaron Harrison.
They're really making it tough on Harrell. Can't get those open looks. Guys, look at Kentucky now on the defensive end. Look at that size factor, some help from the perimeter. There we go offensively, reversing the ball, moving it, and Harrison draining it.
Aaron inbound pass taken by Andrew Harrison. He's pushed from behind before he gets to the rack by Lang.
I think he called it intentional.
I think they did too.
I think, I may be wrong, but I thought he called it intentional.
And it's a sarcastic smile from Bruce Pearl. Bruce says no way. I think he can read the lips. Well, I don't know about that. He was obviously trying to get a hand in there, but the officials are going to look at that. Doug Schaus and Landis Poole have already looked at the scores table monitor.
Kid Lang called for that foul. His daddy played at Duke, 91 to 94, now an assistant with Clint Snyder in the NBA out of Utah.
Just going to be a common foul. They reversed it, Dick. I think it's a good call.
Yeah, I do too. Good bit of officiating.
Good official. Yeah, it's a good group. Everybody we've had here officiating-wise has been great this week. And now they're going to have to do something else. Step into a little fracas.
Got to control your emotions now. Yesterday, Kid Granger lost his emotions. Now he hurts his team. They can use his defense. He's not here. Has to sit out one game.
This is the second time in 2 days we've had something like this. Yesterday, Johnny Jones and Bruce Pearl and their staffs did a great job of separating everybody. This time the officials did most of the work. And we'll give you a look at what apparently caused this.
Yeah, one thing, you don't want to get them all riled up. You don't want to get this Kentucky team. I would just simply say, you guys are great. You're super. Make them feel good. You don't want to get them fired up.
I don't know what Tyler Eulis is doing taking on a guy that's 6'10", but... And again, Auburn's playing shorthanded. If they weren't shorthanded during the whole season, here's two of their starters who are not here. One suspended for fighting yesterday or for throwing a punch. The other, we just found out about a possible rules violation, and that's all we know from Auburn. So Bowers and Granger, the two top rebounders, not in the lineup.
Yeah, Bowers a double-double guy. You can't afford, when you play the team the quality of Kentucky, to lose one of your key players, components.
And then Trayvon Reed is the guy that came in to fill a spot. And with that, we got a double contact technical foul between Eulis and Trayvon Reed.
I don't believe you shoot these. Look at John Calipari now.
He's talking to Doug Shows. And Doug's going back the other way to explain something to Bruce Pearl. And officially, eventually a basketball game will break out here at some point.
They do a great job here in Nashville, I'll tell you one thing. Beautiful arena, too. First time I've been here.
Well, it's going to be the home of the SEC tournament for the most part for years to come. And it's about 90% blue today. There's some Auburn fans that have been here this week, though, didn't expect to be here this long.
Zone right now. Get on man-to-man. Nope, not man-to-man.
Andrew Harrison. Here's Booker from the elbow.
He can flat out shoot. He's one of the premier shooters in the nation.
And now we got a foul on Marcus Lee.
And take a look right here. Like Devin Booker can shoot the rock. Dad was a great star in Missouri.
There's the foul right there as Marcus Lee sort of threw an elbow on Lance Thompson as the shot was going through. But Doug Shows, I think, has decided right now, anytime we see an elbow or an arm go, we're calling a foul because we don't want to fight here. So that was a quick foul and at least sending a message to Marcus Lee in this case.
Yeah, silly play right there. Just a silly play. I love the way they dig in defensively. It starts right here on the perimeter. Pressure on the basketball. Eulis does a great job with that.
Thompson over Lee had a 3-rim out. And Booker ahead to Eulis.
They're a nice combination, man. Booker and Eulis is a nice tandem. Turnover right there. Auburn bench likes it.
And it's going to be another foul on Marcus Lee. And he might be coming out. Whether John Calipari agrees with the foul call or not, there goes a high elbow again into the chin of Alex Thompson.
Well, the ref's going to call it tight, as you said. They're going to control this baby.
So as the smoke clears, we're approaching 12.5 minutes. It's a 14-point lead for Kentucky.
Struggle right now for Auburn to score. Really a struggle. They're matching up on the perimeter. They're taking away the looks of the threes. They can't get great three opportunities. Look at you young kids out there. Watch a guy play defense. Great balance, great stance. She's ball man when he doesn't have guy doesn't have the ball.
Harrell got a 3 away, but it was contested. And the rebound is Kentucky's. Straight up with it, Andrew Harrison, who's had a hot opening 8 minutes to this game.
They're playing well, man. They're playing defense. It's going to be a tough afternoon here for Auburn's Tigers.
And we're going to have a foul on Cauley Stein. 11:51 remaining first half. Bruce Pearl trying to get the message across. John Calipari, I think, has gotten his message across. We'll talk to him when we come back.
Everybody get golden and put your hands up to the sky. Everybody get golden just for tonight. Hey!
Now Kentucky on fire inside and outside, Dick.
There's the inside game. Going to bring the ball back right, a little wide open on the top. There's Andrew Harrison wide open, and he converts. I can see a little high-low action. Bring the ball in, drive it down inside. They dominate around the basket. So much size, so much quickness. This is a special basketball team, as we know.
Let's check in with Shannon and John Calipari.
Coach, you guys have a significant lead, but things are getting a little chippy out there. How do you handle that as a coach?
I want him to call fouls to start the game, not flops. See, when they're fouling, just call fouls, not flops. And now they're starting to call, but the game got out of hand because of it. You can't let... Look, at this point, if we want scoring to go up, call all the fouls. The game will be a better game.
Thanks, Coach.
John Calipari back. He's unbelievable. He's come a long way from Massachusetts. A long way.
One of 12 finalists for the Basketball Hall of Fame will be announced at the Final Four. Malcolm Canada at the free throw line.
He mentions about more scoring. Talked to a writer before the game from the New York Times. I told him there's three things. Number one, you got to go to a 30-second shot clock. I think all the guys agree with that. Heard the game day people talk about that, and certainly Jay Billis, and I agree with that. Number two, I think that the fact involved, there's too much coaching. They really micromanage almost every possession in a lot of schools and a lot of coaches. And number three, I think what's affected it is really the sophistication with the scouting reports now, where they know players' tendencies, their strengths, their weaknesses. They're able to zero in, making it very difficult for guys to get shots. We're seeing it here today. They know about Harrell and his shooting ability and his zoning right now, and they're really matching up, taking away any looks that he can get for a threat.
Don't know that we'll be able to tell in the NIT, but the NIT will go to a 30-second shot clock in the postseason starting this coming week, and we'll see if that has any effect. It might be kind of hard to tell with some of the teams that will be in the NIT, but at least it's an experience and an experiment that we'll have next week. Thompson airball to the other side. Mason grabs it there. His shot clock continues to run. It didn't hit anything.
He got a wide open one.
He played great on night one, had a career-high 16 points, but he hasn't done much since.
You know, LSU, in fairness to that, really, they missed a lot of free throws, but really Jordan Mickey was hurting.
His shoulder, and he only had a point last night, and then got in that fracas, and that took him mentally out of the game, and he ended up fouling out. 2 on the shot clock. Fade away by Canada. Got it up there in time, and Reed trying to battle for the rebound, and he walked with it.
Well, good job, at least showed a little tenacity up on the glass. They're excited about their future down there in Auburn. Bruce telling me got some good recruits coming in. Paul Biancardi and our people rate him in the top 25. Georgia-Arkansas game's going to be a good basketball game.
It will be. Georgia had Arkansas on the ropes in Athens on our first Super Tuesday of the season in early January and let them off the hook, and Arkansas won that game. Georgia would like to get a little payback, and with that, a trip to the SEC title game tomorrow.
Iowa State, Kansas, another good basketball game. Freddie Orberg's kids have really shown a lot of guts coming back in games that look like they were out of it.
Reed picks up the foul.
What a great time of the year. Tomorrow we'll hear all about the bubbles, and we'll hear all about teams. This one should get it. I got my rant 55 for, I mean, every year it's the same thing. This team should have got in. A committee has such a tough job this year. Might be one of their toughest ever because, you know, you got teams with 13 losses. Do they get an edge, let's say, over teams that win 25 games in a row like Murray State?
It could be part of the special bracketology presented by Staples tomorrow. 7 o'clock with live Sports Center updates at 5:30. All that on ESPN tomorrow. Karl Anthony Towns with a couple of free throws, and the lead expands to 16 again.
It's amazing how Willie Cauley-Stein can play so many different people defensively. He can guard people on the perimeter, on the wing, on the interior. It's great to see some kids get recognition other than filling up their stat sheet and scoring.
Well, there's 3 guys rejecting the shot of T.J. Lang. On the other end, Towns lost it out of bounds. This is what you face when you're playing Kentucky. You go in, you think you have a little crease, and then this happens.
Right here, team defense, a lot of rotation. Look at the guys come to the basketball, guard the basketball. So Virginia does so well, but you got to give a salute out to North Carolina with that win yesterday. And Notre Dame, unbelievable. Mike Bray, the final game, beats Duke.
A.T. Harrell's been held scoreless today, as you saw the graphic, after a sensational run the last 3 days, including 29 yesterday. Here he is on the drive against the tall timber, and he's going to get a chance from the free throw line.
Well, he does go to the free throw line, so he's more than just a three-point shooter. He takes the ball to the basket, creates a foul. You know, Kentucky, I looked it up, 20 teams this year, 20 teams have scored 55 or less. It's unbelievable. Got a chance to win when you're doing that.
Well, 81% free throw shooter. That's his first point. Dakari Johnson comes back in, and Karl Anthony Towns sits down. So you take out 1 6'11" guy, you put in a 7-foot guy.
You know, Karl Anthony Towns yesterday 13 and 12, and he only played 25 minutes.
Yeah.
If that kid played minutes, his numbers would be unbelievable.
Past the midway point of the first half, Kentucky by 14. Perfect from the free throw line.
Those first scores.
Pull up by Ulis. Dakari Johnson with the foul.
There's the size differential inside. That's pure size. It's not a lack of hustle by Auburn, it's just size.
The lowest guy on the floor right now is Waddell for Auburn, and he's given away about 8 inches in height to anybody that's down low for Kentucky.
And the big thing is not just the height, it's the ability to have their agility, their mobility.
Harrell, that one halfway down, comes back out, and Ulis will bring it up for Kentucky.
Ulis really increases the tempo of the game when he's on the floor, both offensively and defensively.
Cauley Stein, easy cross-court pass, and Andrew Harrison offensive foul. That's going to be his second, so the Harrison twins each have 2.
Good job by the Tigers rotating over defensively right here. You're going to see them along the baseline. Look at a good help defense. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about the charge. Good help defense right there. Take a look at the size on the inside. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look at that size.
Andrew Harrison stays out there with the 2 fouls. His brother's on the bench with 2. Dakari Johnson now way out guarding Ross Miller. So there's another 7-foot guy out on the perimeter.
That's what they do really well, their big guys. Their big guys do rotate. Finally, one goes down from out there.
And Dakari Johnson backed off just for a half second, and K.C. Rossmiller took advantage of it with a 3. Now they're going to call it a 2.
He stepped on the line. Miller made it count from the perimeter. There's a ball screen up on top.
Andrew Harrison jumper. Rebound. Ulis, smallest guy on the floor, got the board, and Cauley Stein knocks it down.
Well, Cauley Stein should run over and give Ulis a hug, man. He created that opportunity for him, the little guy. He's a giant with the balls in his hands.
Ross Miller on the baseline, dribbles through all that traffic. All that did was take time off the clock.
Handled the ball well. Here they come, run, baby, run. Put it to this guy, he's like the little engine. Look at him.
Wrap around the Cauley Stein. What a pass.
Oh, are you serious, Mr. Nessler? Ulis. He may be the littlest guy, but he's a giant with the balls in his hands. She likes it. Ashley's dancing the storm.
7:15 remaining, Kentucky by 18. And by the way, Mr. Vitale, I am serious.
Hey,
so is Cauley Stein.
Shoot, showtime, baby, showtime.
Games in 4 days takes a lot out of you. Teams that win 4 straight games, SEC tournament, Arkansas, Georgia. Georgia did it during the tornado. The Georgia Dome played actually 2 games in 1 day. Mississippi State in 2009. Auburn's trying to join that group, but they're buried under an 18-point pile right now as Bruce is with his team and about to step over and talk to Shannon, see if they can dig themselves out of this hole.
Coach Pearl, you know, KT Harrell has had some open looks but hasn't been able to connect. I saw you put your hand on his knee as to encourage him. What do you need to do to get him going?
He is getting great looks, but obviously 4th game, he's tired. And if we can just keep getting the looks that we're getting, and find a way to hang in on the board. Second shots are killing us down this end.
Thank you, Coach.
Hard to hang on the boards when you have no size at all.
No, it's amazing. Kentucky doesn't have a guy in the top 20 in scoring in the SEC.
Right. 25th is their highest, and that is Aaron Harrison at 11.3.
Well, they got a bunch of players now that are number one. There it is again.
No box out. Dakari Johnson gets an easy flush after the missed free throw. Lead goes to 20.
Total mismatch. I mean, it's an M&M. It is. You don't have to be a genius to figure this out. Even a dummy like me can see.
Burrell, anytime he can get a little bit of space is if he's 30 feet away from the basket. Now he's got Cauley Stein, a 7-footer, chasing him around on the baseline.
You can only do so much as a coach, but after a while, you got to tip your hat and look at the talent level that you're competing with.
Ross Miller in the paint drew a foul from Ulis. This is one of those plays that drives any kind of coach crazy on a missed free throw. Watch this.
He just steps right in. They can't hold him off. Not strong enough to really check him on a line there. Understand we got our guy Kenny Chesney watching out here in Nashville. Sent you a beautiful text.
Yeah. KC said, tell Dickie V I love him.
I love him, man. He's phenomenal. You talk about an entertainer, put a show on.
He starts his tour at Bridgestone Arena. I think it's next weekend.
Oh, it does?
He's been in rehearsals, but I think it's this building or maybe the convention center, music center next door.
Well, I've only seen him 11, 12 times.
I've only seen him about 6 or 7.
I may go more.
Ross Miller got them both. 4 for KC. There's 6:40 remaining in the half, an 18-point Kentucky advantage.
Well, the one thing John Calipari will do, they will not play the scoreboard. They will play hard, and they will play within their system. Taking everybody's best shot all year.
Lyles on the baseline. The truck just told me 26th and 27th when the contract starts for Kenny Chesney. As we give him a shameless plug.
Nice pass right there.
Well, coming up tonight on ESPN, Phillips 66 Big 12 championship game, followed by its New York Life ACC title game. Pac-12 championship game presented by New York Life wraps up a night of craziness. One night, 3 championships. Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods tips off 6 o'clock tonight.
Well, North Carolina really playing well right now, playing with a lot of passion as they missed that free throw. Notre Dame played exceptionally well. You know, it's amazing. They beat Duke, and they only shot 2 for 8 from the 3, and that's really one of their strengths when you look at the Fighting Irish. They shoot the ball so well, very effective offensively.
Duke and Virginia, everybody thought was going to be there, Dick. And is Virginia in danger of losing 1 seed, you think?
Well, that's an interesting question. Some people say that. I can't see it. If you look at their body of work all year, I think both Duke and Virginia deserve to be on that first line. The only question I have, though, is if Wisconsin wins the Big Ten, they might be able to push them out of that number 1.
Mason got a 3.
He's dancing.
Timeout, and John Calipari just gave Dakari Johnson the hook with the thumb, meaning I don't like your defense. We were just talking about seeds and bracketology. Joe Lunardi, here's how he's got it right now coming into this afternoon's action. Dick, you agree with all that so far?
Yeah, I do agree with it. I definitely think right there they are number 1. I think the only question mark happens if Wisconsin wins that Big Ten tournament. I think you got to study and analyze that big time. However, the one thing, if you're Kentucky, the one team you don't want to see as number 2, you don't want Wisconsin in your
bracket, right?
Because they're the one team that has the size inside. Kaminsky's a great outside player. Talk about Hayes and Decker. They would be a dangerous team. Plus, they played Kentucky right to the wire last year, so they're not going to be intimidated.
Anderson for Virginia being injured, though, and not being a factor, I'm sure they'll think about that, won't they? Booker misses a 3.
All of those things are supposed to be discussed.
Harrell got his man in the air, and then he got help. He got Harrison to run by, and then Booker got in the way of that 3-pointer.
Tell you one thing about the Auburn kids, they're competing. They are competing. They're playing as hard as they can.
Cauley Stein turn around, and Ross Miller with a rebound for Auburn, and the Tigers pushing it. He's going to try to go coast to coast here. There's what happens. You get blocked by 2 guys. Lyles the other way, and 1.
Tremendous job right there. defensively and offensively. It starts with the defense, with the block shot. One of the leading teams in the nation blocking shots. There's the help defense. Look at what he converge on a basketball. Now look at this. Very fundamental, simple play. Nothing flashy, nothing around the back, between the legs. Just a regular bounce pass by Booker, and they get the layup.
One guy blocked it, and the other guy blocked the guy that blocked it. Talk about whap whap to the screen.
I like the way you do that. Whap whap. I like that.
Trey Lyles, 6'10" freshman, 7 points already.
He broke the hearts of the people down in Indiana, Hoosier country. He originally committed to Indiana, changed his mind, went to Kentucky. He would have been such a plus for them. They're a little bit on a bubble. They got to be a nervous wreck down there, the Hoosiers. UCLA's got a little nervous.
So Lyles, who averages 8, already has 8 here in the first half, as we're at the 5-minute mark. Mason tried to contort his body to get that thing up off the window. Missed the shot. Kentucky will take it back with a 17-point lead.
He's going for his Masters. Fifth-year player. Transferred
from Niagara.
They scored big at Niagara. Purple Aces.
So Andrew Harrison back out there again. A couple of fouls on him. His brother has 2. Marcus Lee, who's on the floor, has 2 for Kentucky.
Foul problems don't really become a big problem with Kentucky because of their depth. They are so deep.
Karl Anthony Towns battling for that rebound, and his height didn't pay off that time because he got somebody over the back.
Look at some of the SEC bubbles. You think about LSU, 22-10. They won at West Virginia. They won Arkansas. But they've lost to Missouri. They lost to Auburn twice. Those are not good losses. Those are bad losses. Mississippi beat Oregon, beat Cincinnati. Lost 4 of their last 5 games, and also lost to Charleston Southern. So all of those factors, you got a lot of teams like that. I have a problem.
I saw Johnny Jones and some of his assistant coaches leaving the hotel last night with their bags in hand, and they weren't expecting to have that luggage in their hands last night, and he was despondent pretty much about what happened last night, losing to this team in overtime, 73-70.
That's second time this year. You know, I have a problem where we sometimes, and I can understand as we look right here, the SEC teams, according to Mr. Lenardi, seems to know, well, he knows his stuff. I'll tell you what.
Ole Miss has slipped a little bit, so is LSU. He does have them in, but it's nervous time right now. Depends on what else goes on around the country. But they didn't help themselves, neither of those teams for sure.
You know, I was going to say, Brad, I have a problem with a team that wins 25 in a row, and they're on a bubble, and you give them Murray State. I don't care who you play. A lot of big guys don't want to play. When you win 25 in a row, go 3 months without a loss, and then get beat at the end. I don't see how you deny kids like that. And they'll probably be denied because people will say, well, they know the rule. You got to win your tournament. Well, I'd rather reward teams that are basically almost perfect in a year versus mediocrity. You would make a decision to be in a big conference. You go there, you go 8-10, 9-9. I don't know if you belong over a team winning 25 in a row.
About the only thing Andrew Harrison hasn't done right today, missed a free throw, which is a rare occurrence. His brother Aaron sits, and Ulis is going to check back in. Got the second one. Leading scorer, Andrew Harrison.
Hope people realize what a tough job it's been in terms of when you look at Bruce Pearl stepping in, trying to rebuild the program. His personality, his work ethic, his incredible ability to get the most out of players is certainly going to be a positive there for Auburn. You watch them in 3-4 years.
Plus, he's got the Auburn faithful fired up, as he is a showman. Obviously, you know that. He worked for us before that at Tennessee, kind of lit that program up. And it's going to be fun to watch Auburn grow over the years with him over there on the bench.
He's shy, like I am.
He's shy, just exactly like you.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Progressive. Comparing rates to help you save. Now that's Progressive. And Constant Contact, helping small business do more business.
Doug Kazarian with a studio update. Big Ten action. Wisconsin trailed by as many as 7, but this Nigel Hayes bucket caps a 9-2 run to tie it. However, Boilermakers up a bucket approaching halftime. 2 other scores, the MEAC Championship, Hampton and Delaware State tied at the break, and Davidson in the AT semis up 10 early. Let's go back to Brad and the shy Dick Vitale.
All right, Dick. Doug, thanks a lot. Keep us updated on the rest of the games. 3:46 to go here. Ashley Judd.
Wow. She's a big star. You better believe that. Superstar. Loves her. Scotty's in the house.
Hall of Famer. 6-time NBA champ for the Bulls. Scottie Pippen.
What a combination they were. He and Mr. Jordan.
Nice cut to the basket by Ross Miller. He got the reverse layup.
Nice play. Good movement without the basketball. Right to the goal. Very rarely you see that happen. I mean, they're right there 14 down. And they're not quitting. They're battling. Got as high as 20.
Shannon was over there around the Kentucky huddle on that last time out, Shannon.
That's right. You know, Brett, coming into this tournament, Coach Calipari, he told his guys, I just want 2 to 3% extra. How about that for extra? That's a little extra.
That was 3% extra. That's just outside the arc.
He wanted 2 to 3% extra from each of his guys. He said, listen, it doesn't have to be 20%, just a little bit more. And for every guy, it was a little different. In that last huddle, Devin Booker, 2 hands. He told them over and over again, you got to have 2 hands. You have to play perfect to be perfect.
Well, Kentucky didn't have to play until yesterday, a double bye being the #1 seed. And at the practice yesterday, before the 2 days ago, before the other teams played, Cal told me, he said, you know what, at this point of the year, I don't want to practice anymore. I'm sick of them. They're sick of me. We just want to play ball. We want to play games. Well, now it's game. And they hope it's all the way to 40-0. At least the Kentucky fans are hoping that. J.C. Rossmiller, as he did in night 1, helping out offensively right now for Auburn, as he's got 8.
He had a tough shot, too, Rossmiller, and that was a tough look right there.
Booker, heat check, same spot. This one rims out, and Auburn's got the rebound. I got to give them credit. They're down 15.
Absolutely, playing hard.
Yeah.
They're battling, a lot of intensity, a lot of emotion.
Mason working against Booker with the scoop shot. Marcus Lee got a piece of that.
Nice play by Mason attacking just to get enough spin on that basketball.
Coming up, the Heroes Charge halftime report. Carl Ravitch is along with us. Talk about that Badgers bid for a #1 seed. Right now it's shaky. Down 2 the last time Doug gave us an update to Purdue. And also Carl will talk about Saturday championship night. There he is. Up with the gang on the platform. That's all coming up in a little less than 2 minutes.
I'll be joining Carl after this game and in halftime of the second game.
So you get to talk some more up there?
Yeah, have a little fun. Talk a little baseball with Carl.
John Farnham will be with me for the second semifinal game. Carlstown. That's something you don't see him do a lot of, but he's got a good mid-range jump shot.
I always tease him when I see him. I say, you tease me with your offensive skills. He says, I'm going to a tournament. I got to score a little more.
Well, not out there right now for Auburn. So Mason's their best scorer like that.
Nice drive by Mason. Nobody rotates over. I'm going to tell you one thing. Bruce Pearl has to be happy with the effort of his kids. I know the scoreboard doesn't indicate it, but he has to be happy with their effort.
Lyles hit the deck hard, and he's still down. Here's another look. He comes right at you.
He's a strong driver to the goal. Take a little mid-range jump shot right there. Nice little look, too. Look, good form. Tucks the elbow in. Good follow-through. He's got scorer's ability. He's just an unselfish kid, Willie Cauley-Stein.
I don't know if Lyles maybe cut his lip on that collision. That's what he thinks anyway. Before he comes out for the free throws.
I get amazed when I see John Calipari and I think about the days going down doing Massachusetts games. His phone budget right now in Kentucky was bigger than his whole budget down in Mass. Facilities, they got all the right things, but there aren't many people that can handle the pressure of coaching at Kentucky. He's certainly one, and a guy down about 60 minutes away was able to handle as well, named Rick Pitino.
And John, one of only 2 coaches in history that's been able to take 3 different programs to be the top-ranked team in the country, including the one he's got right here.
Well, you know, we'll hear the critics out there screaming about, well, you know, he was at 2 schools. They had to vacate their championships, vacate their Final Four appearances. Hey, you gotta know one thing. The NCAA cleared him of being involved in it. Kentucky would have never hired him if the NCAA said he was implicated in terms of Camby was involved with an agent. Derrick Rose was rumors about his SAT scores. Bruce Pearl's had problems. Obviously, we know of Tennessee. He apologized. He's admitted what he made. He made some mistakes.
Again, Auburn having problems today with Simeon Bowers out for some reason, suspended for the game. Bruce made that announcement about 15 minutes before the game. So if you're just joining us, Auburn is hanging in there or trying to with 2 starters out. Jordan Granger being the other one after being involved in a fight last night, throwing a punch. So he was kicked out of the game. And so 2 guys that would be starting for Auburn not even on the floor or in the building. Well, one's in the building, the other one isn't.
Had no shot right there on that drive. They rotated over. But, you know, I was mentioning a little bit earlier, Brad, you know, isn't our country based on giving people second opportunities? People make mistakes. We're all human. People make mistakes.
5 on the shot clock. Mason just got a hoisted over Booker, and he drew a foul and 3 free throws. And Booker looks stunned by the call.
Yeah, not
a nice job by Mason, though.
Yeah, nice play by Mason, but not a good play by Booker. You got a guy right here who's going for his master's in adult education. He's showing a little of his cerebral ability to shoot that ball and go to the line. He says, umbrella him. Umbrella him. That's what we want you to umbrella. Don't go stenching up.
Just a free throw. 2 more to come. 11 points in the game so far, and he had struggled really the previous 3 games before this, so they needed him. He's coming through so far. See if he can add a couple more.
Yeah, he's reacting in a positive way. You know, Brad, a lot of bubble teams out there are certainly rooting against Auburn, Connecticut, Wyoming, Rhode Island. They don't want those clubs to win their tournaments and steal a bid.
Will you get to sleep in on Monday morning after you quit talking basketball tomorrow night?
No, after tomorrow night's selection show, I'm going to Indianapolis. I got a big deal to do out there and have a little fun. Take my bride with me. 43 years, man. She has to be a saint living with me.
Oh, she's already been canonized a long time ago.
Show some patience right here, Kentucky. I got your beautiful daughter sitting to my right, Reese.
I should be up for sainthood for having her. Andrew Harrison.
He's playing well, really playing well, shooting the ball well. John Calipari wants him to attack more, penetrate.
Final seconds, wraparound pass, quick 3, Waddell. It's not going to go.
He's a walk-on. You're going to love that. Good effort. Look. Bruce Pearl's happy, I think, with the effort of his kids. Yes.
Kentucky, big lead. Bruce Pearl still coaching and talking before he heads to the locker room. Number 1, Kentucky has put 47 on the board to break. Trying to go to 33-0. They're about an hour away from it right now. 47-29. Time for the Heroes Charge halftime report. Carl Ravitch coming up after these messages.
Welcome to the Heroes Charge halftime report. Bridgestone Arena here, Nashville, Tennessee. Kentucky 47-29 lead over upstart Auburn, and it's an upstart Auburn team that is undermanned given the two players who have been ruled ineligible, one for throwing a punch, one for reasons we don't yet know, but they're undermanned, undersized. Sean Farnham, you get the sense they're playing individual, almost possession type victories because it doesn't feel like they can win this game, Auburn.
No, they're just trying to scrap out there right now. And there's a possession. We both looked at each other. They were down 16 and they got to stop, and they were like fist pumping their way back to the other end
Ball
of
out
the
of
floor.
bounds, all fired up.
But that's what it comes down to right now for Auburn, because this game truly is about Kentucky. They were outmatched even before those two guys were ineligible to play for today's game.
When we watched, they jumped center.
Yeah.
There was no Auburn player taller than the shortest player for Kentucky. The size differential is overwhelming.
They're the size right now of a very elite level high school basketball team. That's the size that Auburn has to deal with, and they're going against what is the second tallest team in the NBA if you took their roster and moved them over. So there's a big differential there.
The other thing they seem to be wanting doing is make sure that KT Harrell doesn't score.
Well, and you put Willie Cauley-Stein on him. Look at the distance he forces him to catch the ball. That's not considered an operational area. Then he tries to step into a shot here, and you've got to shoot over the length of Willie Cauley-Stein. He comes up short with an air ball. And I tell you what, to me, that's what really stands out about Willie Cauley-Stein. He can defend all 5 positions. He's taking on the best scorer of Auburn, who happens to be a guard, and he's shutting him down.
That's also an 8-inch differential between those two guys. And Cauley-Stein's offense is showing up a little bit here in the first half of this game. Can Auburn continue to just have these incremental successes? Is that what the second half is all about?
I think it is. I think when you look at Kentucky and the way that the Harrison Brook twins have showed up today, they are playing efficient basketball. They are being aggressive. They set the tone and the demeanor for the rest of the team to follow. Trey Lyles has had a great first half as well. Kentucky is playing better focus today, better energy today than they were yesterday.
And we hope to have Calipari on after the game. One thing, it looks like he wanted to pitch a perfect game. If Auburn scores, he's yanking out whoever was defending the guy that scored. All right, let's get to some other games. Many people believe Wisconsin will end up on the 1 line, but Wisconsin has to win their tournament. This is the semifinal game against Purdue. Frank Kaminsky, a matchup nightmare for everybody. He gets it inside.
So versatile, leads the team in almost every major statistical category. But when you think about Purdue, it gets back to being boiler basketball. Getting the ball down low. A.J. Hammonds has had a great season. Matt Painter's team is starting to play some of its best basketball.
Check the score. They're up by 5, and adding to it, Raphael Davis with the runner in the basket. And then P.J. Thompson with a 3. They were up 2-4-6 the entire half. They went to the break, leading 35-30. That's something to keep our eye on. Purdue leading Wisconsin. The rest of the day, 14 bids by the time we all go to sleep tonight. We'll come back. It's the SEC Championship Week.
This halftime report is presented by Heroes Charge, the hit mobile game available on the App Store and Google Play. Download now. This halftime report is presented by Heroes Charge, the hit mobile game available on the App Store and Google Play. Download now.
All that glitter.
Here we go. 5 seconds left in regulation. Young 4-3 in the win. Got it! The Ducks advance to the title game. Harrell, long ball. Got it! He hit it. They don't want to go home.
Ball right. Goes right. And Ryan Boatwright sends the Huskies to Saturday.
Already a great finish today. Peter Hooley plays for Albany. In January, he went home to be with his ailing mom, who later passed away. He drains the 3, and Albany shocks Stony Brook at the buzzer. They win the championship 51-50, and as a result, they move into the NCAA tournament. The America East champions out of Albany, and what a moment for Peter Hooley in what has been an incredibly emotional season. All right, Sean, rest of the games, Iowa State, Kansas, 6 Eastern, ESPN.
I think the focus has got to be on Perry Ellis. He limped off late in this game. He's played really well against Iowa State, averaging 22 points and shooting 63% from the floor in the last 4 games that he's played.
Bill Self hasn't playing well at Big East. Xavier Villanova.
Josh Hart, 6th man of the year in the Big East. He was 6 days old the last time that Villanova won the Big East tournament.
Yeah.
He's played a big role for him this year. And, of course, they're looking to win their first title since 1995.
Villanova, a lot of people have them on a 1 line. How about the ACC? It's not Duke. It's North Carolina. It's not Virginia. It's Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame, to me, their offense and the way that they share the basketball, you start to see some of their depth. This is an older team for Mike Gray. An older team usually means a successful team. Remember, they won a 1-point game against North Carolina in North Carolina not that long ago.
And Oregon, Arizona, 11 Eastern, ESPN.
Arizona's defense is elite. The last 10 games, they're holding opponents to just 58 points per game. And I think their biggest question mark in this game for Arizona has to be, can they avoid the scoring droughts? At times, they go through these long scoring droughts. I think that's the only thing that could hinder them from making a Final Four run this year.
You know, but if you're looking at teams that are playing really well, peaking at the right time, Arizona's there. But last night we saw Joseph Young hit a big shot for Oregon. And for a long time this year, Oregon was upper-class team.
Well, and that's the thing. Oregon had a lot of off-the-court issues last year. Dana Altman has got his team playing well, coming together. And Joseph Young is the key to that. Averaging 22 points per game. He has been outstanding all season long. 55 points in the first first 2 games of the Pac-12 tournament. And I think he's the type of player that when you get into the field and Oregon's going to be in the NCAA tournament, you're looking for a guy that can advance a team and have big numbers. Joseph Young is that guy.
He's the KT Harrell with a better supporting cast. All right, if Arizona plays well, though, they win the game?
Yes, Arizona defensively in their length should disrupt Oregon enough to win that game.
All right, Kentucky is not playing perfectly, but they have this one just about in the bag. Second half, Big Blue Nation well represented here in Nashville. This has been the Heroes Charge halftime report.
All that glitter, all that gold, we're all in on the take care of your soul.
Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods continues from the SEC tournaments. The SEC on ESPN from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. And all Kentucky in the first half. If you take a look at the statistics, Kentucky 11 out of 17. They had 4 3-pointers, only 1 for Auburn. They had the rebounding edge, not by much though, actually, considering the lack of size for the Auburn Tigers. Principal Financial Group, competitive edge. The edge goes to the #1 team in the country. Not that we're surprised at all as we welcome you back. Brad Nessler, Dick Vitale. It's kind of what we thought was going to happen, but I got to give the Auburn Tigers credit. 4 days, 4 games, and they're trying to hang in with #1 Kentucky.
Yeah, and they really got a tough break because they've done a great job, Kentucky, defending Harrell. Harrell's been brilliant, had 29 yesterday. He's 0 for 6, and they're able to, right now, that's a struggle for them. By any chance they had a rain freeze, and he's one of the premier 3-point shooters in all of basketball, and certainly in the SEC, and he goes 0 for 6. That makes it tough for them to be able to compete.
They have only 1 3, and it's Antoine Mason that had it as we check in with Shannon Spake.
Well, Brad, we are down men, not just one man. That's what Bruce Pearl told me walking off to half. He said, you know, we got to make some better decisions. The thing he likes about this team is that they continue to fight, and you can really sense that they're going to continue to do that. In fact, Pearl said we just need to make better decisions. It's 1 or 2 plays, and we can kind of get ourselves a little closer. As far as Coach Calipari, he told me it's all about his individual players. In fact, he admitted he didn't even look at the scoreboard until he walked off for halftime. But he did mention the free throws, particularly Auburn getting to that line. We can't be doing that, is what he said.
Auburn got to the line 15 times, and they hit 13, and they had the opening basket of the second half.
I'll tell you one thing. There's no way he can convince me he didn't look at the scoreboard. Shannon, I'll tell you right now, there's no way he can convince me of that.
Karl Anthony Towns goes strong to the paint and is fouled. Foul's going to be on Mason, and that is his first. Antoine Mason, leading scorer for Auburn right now, 14. So Karl Anthony Towns, who had only 2 points in the first half, both from the free throw line, steps up again. 2 and 2 for him. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks. It's 3 points now. He had 19 and 10 with 4 blocks in the regular season game that Kentucky won by 35.
And that was blowout city there. Offensive show they put on, but you know, it's getting back to Mason. He must like Kentucky. He's got 43 points against them in 2 games.
Kentucky, by the way, shot 58% in the first half. Their season high field goal percentage was almost 65%, and that was against Auburn with the 110 points, which was also a season high that they put up in a regular season game. Canada trying to drive against Towns. Nice move, just didn't finish it. And now Karl Anthony, the big guy, leading to the other big guy on the break. And Cauley Stein put the brakes on and brings it back out to a guard.
You know, Chad Ford's got him rated way up there. He's got Okafor and Mr. Towns 1 and 2.
Booker. And no basket. Foul before the shot is going to be on Karl Anthony Towns. And that's his 3rd. Here's what Dick was talking about.
Take a look right here. That's where he's got him projected. Not bad when you can go to battle with guys like that, a little chance to play at the next level. It's unbelievable when you think about the players that he has coached at Kentucky that are now starring in the NBA. He goes a little patience right now, trying to shorten that clock a little bit. So outmanned personnel-wise.
And again, it's Cauley Stein on Harrell. 7 on the shot clock. Mason might have to hoist one here. Does. And he drew a foul. I think 3 free throws.
Yes,
Fouled by Ulis.
It's 3. That's the second time he's done that in this game. He did it against Booker, and now he did it in Ulis. 2 young freshmen. He's a 5th-year guy. Both guys, they got to learn. You can't make those kind of fouls. And what about the South Carolina game here? When again, with the foul at the end.
Yeah, that was crazy. That just started the craziness earlier in the week, and it continued through yesterday. Courtesy of Auburn. Ulis is going to sit. Oh, maybe not.
I had to do a lot of work last night. I went out to the Grand Ole Opry and I spent hours and hours preparing for the game because I got to be very honest.
Yeah,
I have to be very honest. We didn't think that Auburn would be playing here this afternoon. We thought it would be Kentucky and LSU. And you and I had that unbelievable game where Kentucky had to lace it up in the last 3 minutes to pull it out against LSU.
I understand Vince Gill serenaded you and lovely Lorraine Vitale last night, huh?
Oh, Vince Gill, terrific guy. He pulled Lorraine and I on the stage and had us dance to a song called Look at Us, which is about 40-plus years of marriage.
Vince, a basketball fan, big-time Vanderbilt fan, as a matter of fact. Usually see him at the Vandy games.
He loves Belmont, Rick Byrd. Oh, there he is. I was introducing Ricky Skaggs right there to the crowd. Ricky, a big hand, there's a little Trisha Yearwood. Where's Garth? Where's Garth Brooks? There's Ricky Skaggs, gave me an award last night. And there's my guy teaching me how to play, Mr. Bill Whispering Anderson. Hey, star right there. Good friend of Sean Barnum, our guy. From out of Nashville, who plays Charles Espin.
Stein got it back. Got it again. Ended up with a 3-point play out of it the hard way.
Second time. You ever see that show Nashville with Chip Epson?
I have.
Yeah, great job he does.
Happens to be an ABC show, so we can talk about that if we want to.
Oh, what a nice play right there.
You're just sitting nodding. ABC, ESPN, yeah, right, Disney. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
I get it. Synchronizing. Tell you right now, when you got a game that's looks like a blowout, start talking about everything. Grand Ole Opry.
And the ball will be Auburn's. That was a nice move for the first basket by KT Harrell. Not a 3-pointer, but this around Willie Cauley-Stein. That's nifty.
Tremendous play. Look at the body language right there. Like I said earlier, he's more than a one-dimensional 3-point shooter. He drives, he gets to the free throw line a lot. I mean, it was tough enough coming in here, but to lose 2 starters before the game that you didn't expect, that's unbelievable.
Canada for 3.
He played well, as you said yesterday, in the win over LSU. To lose Bowers in particular before the game, we found out about 15 minutes before the game.
I mean, they came out to warm up in the second half. They didn't have enough guys to do a layup line.
Unreal. You're talking about their rebounder. I mean, one of the premier rebounders in the conference.
Harrison thought about a 3, so did Booker.
Look at the size inside now. See, if you really call this time, you're going to want the ball. You're going to want the ball.
Some penetration by Harrison. Has to kick it out to Booker with 5 on the shot clock, and he knocks it down.
Why not go outside to the guy that can flat out shoot? He's had a terrific diaper dandy year.
Mason for 3. Yes.
Mason putting up big numbers here. He looks at Lyles. He's got to shove right over the top of you.
Lead 15 as we approach 16 to play.
No quitting those kids. No quit. They reflect their coach. He's a fighter. Scrapper Bruce Pearl, and his kids are going to battle and battle and battle.
A whistle and a foul. Going to be on Ross Miller. There's Booker on one end with 5 on the shot clock. And then Mason says, anything you can do, I can do just as well. 18 for Antoine Mason. We said at the top of the game they were going to need his scoring, and he's come through for him. Harrison twins on the floor with Cauley-Stein, Marcus Lee, and Devin Booker.
Sadly, Willie Cauley-Stein's too passive offensively.
He's not asking for it right now. He almost got it off the miss by Harrison. 15,
right there.
48 remaining in the ball game. Top-ranked Kentucky up by 15.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the Mazda CX-5.
Georgia Bulldogs arriving for the second semifinal game. They're the number 3 seed in the SEC tournament here in Nashville. On the other side is your SEC Player of the Year, Bobby Portis, and the number 2 seed Arkansas Razorbacks. That's our second game, coming up about 25 minutes after this one's over.
He's a flat-out PT peer, man. Portis moving up with stock going up. Plays the winner Kentucky, Auburn, and plays the winner Arkansas, Georgia.
And the championship game, Dick and I'll have for you tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern. 12 o'clock here in Nashville.
Kentucky beat the Razorbacks by 17, beat Georgia twice, but both games were really battles. Beat them by 11 and beat them by 8. One they played without Thornton. You did both games.
Yep. Mason, who's been the star for Auburn, got a good look. Again, you get in there and you go against those 7-footers and you tend to alter your shot a little bit, put it up too high on the window.
Yeah, he went to his left hand, had a real strong drive to the basket.
Auburn, first 3 games, +5 in the scoring column and 41%. Today, a different story. Rossmiller was all alone under the basket, but by that time the pass got there, Booker and company knocked it out of bounds.
Yeah, the pass was certainly right there. It was telegraphed. He anticipated really well. Chuck Person was telling me in '84 they played in the championship game right here, and Kenny Walker made a shot at the end to beat them right over him. He's very honest. It was right over me.
Kenny Skywalker, one of the greats in Kentucky basketball. 5 on the shot clock. Harrell in traffic, and a foul.
See,
I'm not sure why Kentucky's looking at like who's the foul on. There was 3 guys that hit him. I don't get it.
I'll tell you one thing, Harrell, he's not able to go shoot the 3 because they're coming out and extending on him, but he is driving to the goal, drawing contact. Yeah, you could pick your guy.
Really? You can pick your Harrison twin. They both fouled him. In this case, the call was on Andrew, by the way. He's got 3 and he's coming out.
Every time he gets to 20, these kids battle back.
So Harrell can make it a 13-point game, which doesn't sound all that bad, and he does. 55-42.
And that little life right there. Look at
Auburn fans are standing.
Yeah, Auburn fans. They're going to appreciate their effort. They know they're really playing shorthanded, playing against the #1 team in America, a team shooting for perfection, 32-0, and they're never quitting.
Foul underneath is going to be on Waddell. Maybe his 3rd.
To me, all Kentucky really offensively has to do is keep pounding the ball inside because they have no answer for him size-wise.
I was talking to some Kentucky fans last night after the game, and it was pretty cool. I don't know that they were necessarily cheering against LSU, but the way Auburn came back and won near the end of the game, the Kentucky fans gave them a standing ovation, which was pretty awesome.
And they were happy. Trust me, they were happy that they didn't have to deal with LSU again. But LSU not the same team in terms if Mickey's not effective.
Yeah. Towns perfect from the free throw line. 6 for 6.
Nice follow through, great rotation.
Thompson and Reed in the lineup for Auburn. That's the end of their bench pretty much. Down 2 starters. Mason pull up over Cauley-Stein. Nice shot.
Tell you one thing, he's putting points on the board. As you said earlier, he's going to have to score. And not played as well here earlier.
Cauley-Stein trying to get a pass down low. Thompson got a hand on it, and Kentucky turns it over.
I will stick to my statement on the top of the show. If Auburn was to pull a miracle, it would be the greatest upset ever in my 36 years at ESPN.
A.T. Harrell, if that 3 had gone, it would be a 10-point game, and it almost dropped in.
He's so close. Tantalizing.
Booker's going to go to the free throw line as Harrell's going to pick up. Well, maybe it's not Harrell on the foul. It's going to be Rossmiller.
There's Mason shooting right over the top of Willie Cauley-Stein, drilling it.
Matt Booker going to the free throw line, the 6th man of the year.
Fourth game in 4 days. The question is, will the legs finally just give in? It doesn't show that way. They seem to be playing hard, short-handed.
Paulie Stein gets a breather, and Trey Lyles comes back in. Checking in with Shannon.
Well, Brad, KT Harrell told me this morning that the turning point for this tournament for these guys happened in game 1. They started to get on each other, started to argue a little bit, and Harrell spoke up, and he told the guys, listen, we need to come together. We need to hold each other accountable, but we need to be confident in what we're doing. And absolutely, he said, that is what has led them to this very point. Watching them on the bench, you can see that they're frustrated, but you can certainly see that they are together, one unit.
Yeah, he was the leader last night, too, when a few guys put their head down a little bit. He said, chin up, we still got a shot at this, and he was right. He's the guy that won it in overtime. Took it inside that time and didn't score. Here comes Kentucky the other way. Aaron Harrison trying to go up and under. He draws a foul, and he'll go to the line.
Tell you one thing, I was on the phone with Bruce Pearl last night. Look at Bruce. He was talking about the miracle on ice. He was feeling all his players. He's Jim Craig. He's Mike. And he's this. He's that. He's on the miracle on ice. I said, wow.
Aaron Harrison's first trip to the free throw line. Had 2 3-pointers in the first half to account for his scoring so far.
To show you what an accomplishment this is, they have not won an SEC tournament game since 2009. It's unbelievable.
And to win 3 back-to-back-to-back after having only 4 regular season conference wins, and a bench warning again, as Mike Nance just told most of the Auburn coaching staff, including Chuck Person, to sit down.
I'll tell you one thing, he had a great regular season win. Xavier is very good. They're in the finals right now in the Big East tournament. They beat Xavier. That was really an impressive win for them. I like that Xavier team.
Aaron Harrison stretches it back out to a 17-point advantage. 22 of 25 from the line for Kentucky. You win a lot of basketball games that way.
Free throw line so big, especially getting the NCAA. The big dance, you got to make those at the end of games.
Canada is going to take the jump shot. Snatch the rebound. Carl Anthony Towns and knock Thompson out of bounds all in one move.
There's no doubt he was getting that rebound.
Booker runs into traffic and an offensive foul, I think. Yes, going to be a charging foul on Booker. Dick was just talking about winning a lot of games in the NBA with free throws, too. Sunday on ABC, NBA Countdown tips at 12:30. Before Joakim Noah's Bulls take on Russell Westbrook and the Thunder. Who's playing better than Westbrook? Not many. Then MVP frontrunner James Harden meets CP3 and Lob City at 3:30. Good doubleheader coming up Sunday on ABC.
You're right about Westbrook. He's been unbelievable. He's been a triple-double guy.
Yeah. Brad Nessler, Dick Vitale, Shannon Spake, Carl Ravitch, Sean Farnham, all here with our ESPN crew. Bridgestone Arena as Auburn turns it over. That's their first turnover of the second half.
I'll tell you one thing, Bruce Pearl will do a great job marketing the 3 wins they've had thus far in this tournament. He will do a great job with that, selling that, certainly to recruits.
Got a nice arena down there that's not that old, not brand new, but 2 or 3 years old. Harrison in the paint. That's goaltending on Reed.
Nice job by Harrison, running a little curl move over the post. Comes off a curl move on the inside, gets into the lane, and there's no doubt about that. I can see that with one eye.
Both Harrison twins are in double figures now. Andrew with 12, Aaron with 10.
Those 2 guys took a lot of criticism earlier in the year, especially when they didn't play as well. People were saying, well, play Ulis and Booker, play Ulis and Booker. And John Calipari believes in both so much. And really, it's paid off because they're going to be major factors come their run for the big championship.
Gary Johnson picked up that foul. He'll come out. Willie Cauley-Stein will come back in as we're almost at the 12-minute timeout here. And Waddell's going to check back in for Auburn. And Reed goes out. So the inbound will come from the baseline from Thompson. Terrell looking for a screen. Looking for a shot on the drive. Swung out of bounds by Cauley Stein. Lyles almost got it. Cauley Stein did. That's why he's Defensive Player of the Year in this conference.
What a great job rotating over. Can't teach that, my friends. That's a guy that's agile. He's mobile. He's got great ability. Take a look at that help defense. Look at Willie Cauley Stein. Look at the timing. Look at the timing of the big guy.
Doug Kazarian here with the latest Dish, brought to you by Dish. Wisconsin trailed by 5 at the break, but all Badgers in the second half. Sam Decker, the dunk. Whiskey Valentine, all you like, up 13 in the Big Ten semifinal. Elsewhere, Hampton, which had an under 500 record in the regular season, 15-17 right now. Hampton is leading by 9 in the MEAC championship. Davidson trailing by 16 at the break. Back to Nashville.
All right, Doug, thanks. So Wisconsin hoping still for a #1 seed. And here, Kentucky, we know, will be a #1 seed. Commissioner Slive, Mike is stepping down at the end of July after a great run. And not only his friendship is inside, he is the classiest guy around, and we're going to miss him for sure. He'll still be around, obviously. But Greg Sankey named the other day as the new commissioner for the Southeastern Conference. But I don't know if anybody can do it as good as Mike's done it.
He's done a great job. He really has. Talked to him before the game. Just a terrific guy.
Lead is the biggest now for Kentucky after that 3 by Harrison. On the drive, Canada again. The shot knocked away by Cauley Stein. And Shannon was over near the Auburn huddle on that last time out.
Yeah, Brad, it's interesting. You know, Bruce Pearl told me today that in order to manage the fatigue, he had to keep his emotions in check. And he has. He's been very calm in those timeouts. However, he is trying to spark a little fire with his guys. He just told them, hey, listen, they're trying to embarrass us. Let's not let it happen.
I'll tell you one thing, Shannon. You got to be a little realistic, and I think he's realistic here. He knows his kids are giving a supreme effort. They're just outmatched almost at every position.
Yeah, they don't have anything to be embarrassed about, no matter what the score ends up being in this game. After playing this many days in a row, just to get here was a major accomplishment. Here's Ulis from three-point land. Cauley Stein, the rebound, the putback.
Could be 4 games in 4 days. Starting to take its toll on him right now. Willie Cauley Stein could be as good as he wants to be.
Mason, who's been the star for Auburn today, can't get it in close. And again, just the height of Lyles and company snatching down the rebound.
And it's also their physical presence. They're so physical. You can't be serious. Willie Cauley Stein, Ashley Latham, high fives. Oh, Kentucky, Kentucky. Oh, Kentucky hold. It is absolutely, it's hoops heaven right now, man, in Lexington. It is hoops heaven. I told you earlier, and I'll say it again. I give you the rest of the nation, and I am taking the Cats as my choice to win it all.
Some great looks at the lob from Booker to Cauley Stein, and Willie can make it a three-point play if he hits the free throw. Four players in double figures for the Wildcats.
You know, very simple formula, Brad. If you have talent plus coaching, it usually equals W. And they have that. They got talent, plus they got a coach that doesn't stop. He coaches and coaches every moment. That was a great article. People should get him on the Toll Harback wrote in USA Today. A terrific article about him. Guy's taking a lot of heat from a lot of people. You better start respecting what he has achieved and what he has done.
Midway point of the second half, and it's a 27-point Kentucky lead. Remember, they won the regular season game by 35.
Well, my friend, it looks like the greatest upset in your history is not going to happen.
No, I don't think so. And the basket's good, and Waddell with a chance for a three-point play.
And I got a moment right here. I want to set out my unbelievable feelings for, I just got notified from Rhonda Foster. She's a big Kentucky fan. And her Aunt Susie has stage 4 lung cancer, and it's in remission, and they're so excited. They're watching the game. So Rhonda, really want to send the best out to your Aunt Susie and wish her all the luck in the world. I like this kid when he's on the floor. I really do. How could you not like
He's
Tyler?
so quick.
Tyler Eulis. Look at him change direction. Flip
Loves it to Lyles, who tried a one-hand slam. Couldn't get it to go. Canada the other way, and he's going to take it all the way. And drew the foul from Dakari Johnson.
Canada going coast to coast, attacking the rim, showing no fear. I'm telling you, if you give it 3 years, Bruce Pearl at Auburn, and you're going to see them in the upper echelon of the SEC.
And the SEC's already proven here in Nashville this week that the lower seeded teams have a lot more to offer than in past years, and adds to the depth.
Conference.
They're hoping for 5 tournament teams, SEC, but we'll have to wait and see on all that. Dick will straighten that out for you in the selection show tomorrow.
And conference really a lot better than what people anticipated. In fact, I don't think many thought that you'd have the depth factor that was there. Weren't really dominant national teams, but very competitive basketball teams.
The dominant national team's the one wearing the white out here today.
They are dominant. They are dominant with a capital D.
I gave you a new saying, dominant with a capital D.
Yeah, I like
You'll probably trademark that now, right? Harrison wanted to get it into Dakari Johnson. He's working it underneath. It's going to be Harrison instead taking the shot. And a push off underneath on the rebound. Foul's going to be on Lyles. Talking about dominating, they could have the most wins in college basketball history if they run the table. They would be 40-0 if they finish undefeated.
40-0. When it was said earlier in the year, you sort of laughed about it. You can't laugh about it now.
I've told this story several times, but I remember the morning after a game at Rupp Arena when one of the fans came up and said, Brad Nessler, and introduced himself to me. I said, well, 21-0. And he said, only 19 more to go. They had that figured out a long time ago.
They got those T-shirts ready to roll, man. 40 and zip. And knowing John Calipari, he's got a trademark on that, too.
A.T. Harrell misses the second. College down another rebound.
Auburn, no matter what the score is, you can't minimize what they did to get into this situation.
Absolutely. Wins over Mississippi State, Texas A&M, LSU in overtime yesterday.
And they only won 4 games in the conference all year long. They won 3 in 72 hours.
Here's the three-pointer again. Easy rebound off the backside by Towns. And a reset of the shot clock.
See, now Willie Quillenstein can score easily in that low box if he wanted the ball. He's a very passive guy on the offensive end.
He's about 9 inches taller than the guy that's pretending to guard him. Eulis, open three. Got it.
Going a little inside, outside. Tyler Eulis, what a player he has been for the Cats this season. You know, it puts a lot of pressure every day in practice on the Drew Harrisons when you got 2 guys like Eulis and Booker in practice challenging every day.
2 guys that could start anywhere in the country.
Anywhere.
Harrell going against a couple of 7-footers. You were talking about T-shirts a little while ago. They got these too. I still hate Leitner.
Oh, yeah.
Kentucky fans sporting that. And speaking of that, he made maybe the biggest shot ever in the history of the NCAA basketball tournament. Christian Leitner, been disliked for so long, and with that, ESPN Films 30 for 30. I Hate Christian Leitner, Sunday at 9 o'clock on ESPN, presented by Volkswagen TDI. And I think Rob Lowe's the executive producer, or one of the producers, isn't he?
He is. I will tell you this.
The good Rob Lowe, not the sloppy Rob Lowe.
I will tell you this, when you think about Christian Leitner, there is no way in the world he doesn't belong as a Hall of Famer based on what he achieved as a college player. He was one of the top college players I've ever watched in my 30-plus years. He was unbelievable. We got to recognize those guys based on their collegiate careers, not just worrying about NBA careers.
Another one of those moments that my good friend Vern Lundquist got the call on the shot by Leitner.
That was a magical moment for people at Duke University. Grant Hill with that pass.
Yep. Whistle foul underneath will be on Waddell. That'll be his fourth. 7:49 remaining. Big game for Willie Cauley-Stein. 8 points in the first half, 8 more in the second half. Giving the Kentucky fans something to holla about.
We making noise, holla, holla, we them boys.
Doug Kazarian with a studio update. All Wisconsin in the second half. Badgers trailed by 5, but 38-16. Whiskey's outscoring Purdue. Bronson Koenig with the three-pointer. Elsewhere, MEAC Championship. Hampton a $153 away from going to the big dance with a sub-500 record. And VCU all over Davidson 9 days after getting blown out at Davidson. Back to Nashville.
Tonight on ESPN, first it's the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship game, followed by New York Life ACC title game, and the Pac-12 Championship game presented by New York Life wraps up tonight. One night, 3 championship games. Not bad, huh? Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods tonight, tipping off at 6 o'clock.
You know, Arizona had a tough one with UCLA, but they were able to win that game, and now you're UCLA with like 13 losses. You got to sit there on a bubble bath, man, taking that bubble bath, nervous wreck, waiting for, do you go to the NIT or the NCAA?
7 straight free throws for Karl Anthony Towns for his scoring today.
Well, the Cats got 5 guys in double figures. They did a great job here on the free throw line as well.
They had 5 guys in double figures the first time these two teams met in the regular season.
You know, staying motivated for the kids of Kentucky, very tough. That's part of coaching. Being motivated. Talked to Reese Davis about that today on the game day show. And Reese was on a great point there, talking about how they're going to maintain their energy and motivational ability. But they do that because their coach is a tremendous motivator. Every moment, that's what he's doing. He's giving them all kinds of sayings. Like Shannon said earlier, telling them they want 2-3% more out of each kid. Because that's realistic. If you say, I want 100% more, it's not realistic. Not realistic.
Coach, with 32-0, I can't give you 100% more. Let's check in with Shannon.
Well, guys, another way that I think he's really motivating these guys is by having them hold each other accountable. He wants them to take accountability for this team. You guys will notice out of timeouts, they will get together in a huddle in the middle of the court. They're talking to each other. They are leading this team. In fact, Cal told me this morning that yesterday during the game, some of the guys told him to take Karl Anthony Towns out and put Dakari Johnson in. They are holding each other accountable. They're running the show right now.
It's interesting. You go to the practices, and several times in the last couple of weeks at the shoot-arounds, Cal has said things to his team like, I don't want to fight you over this. I don't want to fight you, but I will if I have to. That means you guys play the way I want to, I won't yell and scream. You don't play the way I want it, you're going to be sitting next to me.
You can do that when you got the kind of personnel he has, and the depth that he has. And he's not afraid to let his emotions out.
Another rejection this time by Towns.
Look at him filling the lane. Look at him filling the lane.
Harrison to Lyles.
That's big time. That's big time. You put that in a clinic, man. You put that in a clinic. Block the shot, transition game, conversion and score. Kentucky basketball excelling in every area.
Lyles with 12 now after that great feed from Harrison. 6.5 to go. 79-51. Biggest lead of the ball game.
What I love about them, they're not afraid to share the ball with one another. They enjoy playing.
Nice shot by Canada for 3. That's his second triple of the half. 12 for the game.
Tell you one thing, Canada's a battler. You can see he has that fierce competitive spirit. I was looking up John Calipari talking about draft picks. He's coached 30 NBA draft picks in his career, 21 first-round picks. That's unbelievable.
It is. Andrew Harrison tried to switch to hit it with the left hand. Canada coming the other way. Ross Miller wanted to take a 3. Instead, the wraparound pass is picked off.
Tell you one thing, you look at those 21 first-round draft choices, I'd like to get 1% of their action.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind being the agent.
I want to be your agent, man. I want to be your agent.
Yeah, right. Somebody's already got that job stealing money from me. Towns, air ball. Canada up and in. Slides to the feet of Doug Shows, who says, I'm going to give you a free throw as well.
Tell you one thing, that's the battling, that's the competitive spirit we talk about. Canada going coast to coast. Look at this right here. He's going to challenge him right on the inside. Great body control. Look at that defense. Right into offense. Look at Harrison with a great bounce pass. Lyle's going to finish. That's just tremendous basketball going from the defensive end to the offensive end.
Carl Anthony Towns picked up the foul. That's his 5th. I don't know if he realizes that yet, but he's going to the bench. He'll leave with 8 points and 6 rebounds. One of the only guys not in double figures right now. We take a look at our degree game-changing moment. There's been several, but that one brought the house down.
Well, the game-changing moment for me was the moment that Kentucky recruited all those players. It was a change right there for the rest of the SEC.
Canada doesn't get the three-point play, missed the free throw. So with Towns out, Dakar Johnson comes back in. Here's a steal by Auburn. Ahead, Canada with a flush.
Canada put points on the board. They're going to look great in the memory book about 10 years from now when you tell your kids, well, I made Kentucky all they can handle, man.
That is a career high, as a matter of fact, for Malcolm Canada. He can say my career high came against Kentucky in the SEC tournament.
That's right.
Pull-up jumper by Harrison.
Tell you one thing, the Harrisons are going to want to talk about the success of wearing that uniform. They want to close it out with that big national championship.
Kentucky fans right now sitting quietly wondering if their team will get to 100 here in the next 4.5 minutes.
I'm really curious on thinking about tomorrow, looking at the second line and looking at who's number 2 in Kentucky's region. The two teams, Wisconsin and Gonzaga. Gonzaga has the ability to match up.
Burrell trying to race by everybody, gives it to Canada on the baseline, and that one halfway home and comes back out. Stein backing in against Terrell.
You can tell me he can't average better than 9 points a game or whatever. I mean, come on now. I know the minutes are limited. He's got so much talent.
What a game today. 18 and 7 with 3 block shots and probably 6 more that he altered by Auburn underneath. There's a whistle and a foul on Kentucky that'll send Auburn to the free throw line when we come back. 3:18 to play, 83-58.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Sport begs of you this one simple question: who will you be? And the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event. Now through March 31st. See your Lexus dealer.
Doug Kazarian with a studio update. Final minute of the MEAC Championship. Quentin Chavis, hoop and harm. Pirates under 500 this season, but going dancing, about to celebrate over on ESPN2. Meanwhile, Wisconsin outscored Purdue 41-16 in the second half, trailed by 5 at the break. They're advancing to the Big Ten championship game, and VCU all over Davidson. Brad and Dick.
All right, Doug, thanks. Our player of the game, Willie Cauley-Stein here. Look at the numbers: 18, 7 rebounds, 3 block shots. He had a couple assists. You want to see a 7-foot guy do a little bit of everything? Watch this package. Brought to you by Cree LED Lighting. First of all, he's chasing the leading scorer for Auburn. Here's the dish down low to Lyles for one of his assists. And then going to work from the free throw line, mid-range jump shot, swatting Auburn shots out of bounds, and then
Slam jam man, showing his versatility. Just like you, multi-versatile. Football, basketball, country music, Kenny Chesney fan. You got the whole package.
The whole package. Trayvon Reed at the free throw line. Willie Cauley-Stein's day, and pretty sure is done.
You know, the last 4 teams to be undefeated regular season and to come into the tournament with Wichita State, as we saw last year.
Right.
And we saw Indiana State with Larry Bird, certainly that great Great player. Went to 78, 79, the final game of Magic.
St. Joe's did it, didn't they?
Yep, UNLV. Yeah, UNLV. 91, 92. Jerry Tarkanian, maybe rest in peace. And then St. Joe's, as you said, with Jameer Nelson.
Well, Kentucky's going to be one game away from that. If they get through Georgia or Arkansas tomorrow in the championship game that we'll have for you on ESPN, 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock local time here at Bridgestone in Nashville.
I'll tell you one thing, if it's Georgia and you were there, they're not intimidated at all. They played Kentucky right to the end 2 times.
Marcus Lee couldn't find the handle. Kentucky turns it over. The thing about Georgia is, in my opinion anyway, as there's Marcus Thornton, they know how to play with pace against a team like Kentucky. I quite frankly thought that Arkansas has one speed, and they tried to use it against Kentucky, and Kentucky ran them out of the gym the last time they played.
Well, I talked to John about that before the game. We were talking about Georgia. He said they stay within their system. They have a system. They know the players, what their strengths are, and they execute. Same with like in Wisconsin. They have a system. They fill those blanks in that system, and they all perform. They're efficient, and they are making one strong case for a #1 seed.
12 points for KT today. Certainly an all-tournament team performer, even though Auburn's going to lose this game this afternoon, because the show he put on the last 3 days was as impressive as any we've seen in this tournament in a while.
I agree with you. He's got to be all-tournament. There is no doubt. If Kentucky were to win, I think you give the MVP to the team. It's a team. They're not any individual. They're all about a team. Is that ball screen up on top? He's moving. Should be called an illegal screen. You got to be stationary. So I'm going to be a zebra now. I'm going to be a zebra.
Whoa. They're going to give him 3 free throws for that. So with 2:13 remaining, 83-61. I guess it's about what we expected, Mr. Vitale.
No doubt whatsoever. I want to be right now a zebra. See, and if you were on the sideline coaching, I go, tee it up, tee it up on wrestling.
Instead of checks.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. Kentucky's been really sensational again. They knew they really were in a situation where all they had to play to their potential, and it was going to be what we're seeing here.
Right.
It was going to be a win with no doubt whatsoever. Auburn just did not have the kind of personnel, and then everything complicated. Ranger gets thrown out of the game, suspended. Bowers suspended before the game. You can't come in and play Kentucky and not be a full force and have a chance.
There's Bowers. Simeon, who had a good couple of days before this. Not so good a day today. Playing, suspended by, and there's Granger, who didn't play today, even other the starters after throwing a punch last night.
Body language tells it all right there, how depressed looking he is. The fact that, you know, you let your team down. You lose your emotions. You got to think about other people. Can't be selfish.
Harrell. I don't even know how he got that shot around Dakari Johnson. Didn't make it.
Trying to get Willis on the board.
Derek Willis.
Oh, what a nice pass.
Lob to Marcus Lee.
You guys that don't get a lot of PT, a lot of scoring, they're not using that platoon as much as like they did earlier this year. They're playing guys that are performing.
Oh, what a shot by Mason.
Mason's had a big day. Big
23.
Day. 29 the first time. That's 52. That's 26 a game.
That's something he can tell his kids. I scored that many points in 2 games against Kentucky. They were pretty good on defense.
And you better believe he'll be using that. He's getting a master's in education. Look at a nice gesture by Bruce Pearl, bringing in a whole new 5. He's going to go platoon system.
And Harrell bumps Booker. Derek Willis. Great assist on the break. Look at this lob. Big guy goes, bigger guy.
It was Buddy, Mr. Lee. They share a lot of time talking to one another. There it is, a little flip on top. Lee gave him some really good moments last year in a couple games.
Auburn set to bring in, as Dick said, that crew from front of the scorer's table.
It's a thrill.
Booker hits the free throw.
You know, it's a thrill for these kids. They practice, they practice, they practice. And to get on the floor, be able to look eye to eye with some of the Kentucky players, it's a great moment for them. They're hugging one another. I should hug Harrell. I I like when I see Bruce Pearl hugging his players.
A lot of Kentucky fans cheering Auburn right now. That's
Absolutely.
nice.
Very nice. Good sportsmanship.
They played their guts out 4 days in a row.
Played their guts out here this afternoon in a situation where they were totally, you know, really overwhelmed with the talent level that Kentucky has.
You can see Bruce Pearl's emotional right now. He knows they gave everything they had and then some just to get here.
That's all a coach can ask for. You know, we talk about what is coaching. Coaching is the ability of an individual to get people to play to their maximum. Chase your dreams. Dream big.
Booker with 12, and he'll come out.
I really love Jeff Booker. I hope he comes back to school next year. I really do. Hope he and Ulis form that backcourt. They would be such a dynamite duo, increase their minutes. I still got the #1 class coming in next year. Paul Biancardi against people.
Thompson, deep three, went in, came out. And that's Kentucky ahead. Another rise. This one doesn't work. And now Dominique Hawkins will pull it out near midcourt.
That's how practice must be so interesting. See the talent level go at it every day.
There's a lob to Lee, and they mishandled it, or he would have had it. And Waddell comes up with the miss.
I want to see one of these kids hit one. I want to see one of them hit one. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, get it in there. Uh-oh.
Get out of the way. They're not going to get to 100, but they got to 91. And they're going to go to 33-0.
33-0. They usually bring monuments for coaches with those kind of numbers, Mr. Nessler. I wish that goes in.
There it is for Canada.
Yeah! Count it, baby. Talk about it when you get older to your kids. What a big moment. You think he's going to enjoy that shower?
I think so. Well, we're going to send Dick to the showers and bring Sean in for game 2 in about 25 minutes.
That's fun,
Kentucky,
buddy.
perfect.
That's fun.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Final game.
Final score, Kentucky 91. Auburn, a gutsy Auburn Tiger team, 67. So the Wildcats go to the championship game in the Southeastern Conference tournament against either the Georgia Bulldogs or the Arkansas Razorbacks, who are going to tip it off in about 25 minutes, roughly. Coach Calipari, the winning coach with Shannon Smith.
Coach, you told us these games are all about your players becoming the best individual players, the best version of themselves. Who showed you that today?
Willie was unbelievable. That's him at his best. Now the question is, when it gets a little rougher, when they come after him a little bit, be that guy. I think Andrew, Tyler, Devin, and Aaron are starting to play better, that guard combination. Trey Lyles was really good today. Dakari, he let their energy overcome him a little bit. But I like what I saw. Marcus Lee did some good stuff. It was a good game for us.
One more game before the pressure of the NCAA tournament begins. How do you want them to approach tomorrow?
It's the next game. We don't know who we're playing. I keep coming back to this. I don't know how the other team's going to be. But if we're at our best and we get beat, all right, Sunday, let's see where we're seated. I think we're going to be the 1-1, but who knows? That's all that matters to me. Are we at our best, and are you the best version of yourself? If it's not good enough, even the NCAA tournament, it's not the best of 5. It's one game shot. Somebody could go nuts and beat you. As long as we're at our best, you got to deal with it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
So far, they've been their best 33 times and counting. Willie Cauley-Stein, our player of the game. Great numbers today. Great teamwork by Kentucky to have 5 players in double figures, led by Cauley-Stein. And they win it 91-67. Coming up, game 2 of the semifinals here in Nashville, Arkansas and Georgia, about 25 minutes from now. Carl Ravitch is going to be back in our studio right after these messages.
College Basketball Live Scoreboard Show is presented by Dish, and a very impressive Kentucky performance. And already they have exited. They'll do their press responsibilities. And on the court right now, Georgia and Arkansas game about 20 or so minutes from now. Dick Vitale will join me in a moment. Sean Farnham here to go over what we just saw. And it really felt like we were watching a game where everybody in the building, including Auburn, knew what the outcome was going to be before it started.
Well, and because of that, I think it puts more on the mental approach to the game for the Kentucky Wildcats. They knew they were facing an opponent that they just saw a couple weeks back in Rupp, and they were up 30-4 on them early. You knew that Auburn was going to try to give up offensive rebounds, the opportunities to potentially get them, to get back in defense and make you play in the half-court set. And what Kentucky was able to do was to share the basketball. They were aggressive at the offensive end. In particular, the Harrison twins in the first half really stood out to me. And then defensively, you have to look at what Willie Cauley-Stein was able to accomplish.
He was great. We had a great view of what John Calipari was doing the entire game sitting here. And you could really sense that this game was much more about the next couple of games as opposed to really this floor.
The pursuit of perfection wasn't just about their record today. It was about their effort and their focus on the floor. So when players had breakdowns at the defensive end, immediately you got the thumb. You were coming out, somebody else was coming right back in. And it's about what he told Shannon, wanting that individual best and trying to maximize the individual potential of each one of these players, because in doing so, if they're able to do that, we've touched on it all season long, 1 through 10, there is not a better team in the country, and it's not even close.
No.
So if they're all maxed out, they're unbeatable moving forward.
Cauley-Stein, 7 of 9 from the floor. As Sean pointed out, he was guarding a guy 8 inches shorter who'd averaged about 24 a game, and he really was held scoreless in the first half. Here's Shannon Spake with Willie Cauley-Stein.
18 points and 2 monster dunks for Willie Cauley-Stein. You know, Coach Calipari just told me that this was the best version of yourself, of you this evening. Why was a game like this good for you?
I've been kind of in a shooting slump. And so, you know, scoring all them points and flying around playing defense kind of just gets you juice.
I know every game is a process getting better for the next one. How were you guys challenged today?
They had, you know, 2 or 3 guys that could really score, so it made us really kind of focus on locking down on defense just so we can make sure, you know, in the future, if we're playing against a team that has a couple of good scores, that we got to be focused and locked down.
When you look at the season and to the point where you guys are right now, how have you guys stayed motivated, game in and game out?
I mean, it's easy. One of our fans, you know, tremendous, so they keep you juiced throughout the whole time. And then also, you know, having the chance to make history, and then you got a target on your back, so you got no choice but to play hard. And if you have a relapse, then you're going to get beat.
Thank you, Willie.
Yep.
Shannon, thank you very much. And here are the brackets. It's amazing when you looked, and you've been here the entire time, when you look at the other games decided by 3, 5, 8, 6, all single digits. Kentucky's games have been really blowouts, and you can appreciate what the next level will be like for some of these guys. And the 33-game win streak, now the longest in SEC history, Sean.
Well, and the bracket really got disrupted because of what Auburn was able to accomplish. And look, there's a couple things. We focused so much on Kentucky. A couple classy things. Bruce Pearl, the emotion you saw him share with his team as they walked off the floor, especially with KT Harrell, and then running the play for Patrick Heim to come in and knock down that 3-point shot with just about 5 seconds left to go. That's a memory he'll have for the rest of his